Hello, everyone. It's a Friday, TGIF. Now, I wonder if people are saying that in these days of everyone not, or many people not working. I remember once having a conversation with a friend of mine who had a 9-to-5 job, Monday through Friday, and he was talking about his new position gave him an extra week of vacation time a year, and I pointed out that I have 365 days of vacation a year, which was kind of rude of me, I suppose, but my fun life and my work life are so intermingled that I sort of don't know the difference, because I generally like what I do, and I can like what I do a lot, but sometimes you get clients that don't understand, and sometimes I need to get something done, even if it's for myself, and find that I don't know how to do it, and I get frustrated, and I have to throw it away and start over, or try something else that I do better at. But recently, I have been saying TGIF a lot. Actually, let me tell you one other little tiny story. I remember, God, this is 30 years ago maybe, when I never use a calendar because, again, I didn't need to. My appointments were usually made the day that I had to go on them, so I didn't really need to mark something on a calendar for 3 weeks from today and things like that. So and these are when calendars were made of paper and had pictures of kitties on them every month. And anyway, I would, all the days were alike. I told one friend, the only thing I know that Sundays Murder, She Wrote is on, and I once saw Angela Lansbury live in a play on Broadway, and I liked seeing her because it reminded me of the Sweeney Todd that she was in, and also there was something about that show that made me think of being a kid, Wonderful World of Disney, that we would watch on Sunday nights from the dining room table, or the kitchen table, actually. So there was something very homey about that. Anyway, now, back to the present day, not past. TGIF, I've been saying that more often because my new social life that I now lead, or used to lead in the last couple of years, involved two things that I would do that happened every Wednesday and either Saturday or Sunday. And this was the potluck that I would go to with a group of people called the Radical Fairies. And on Saturday or Sunday, it was the Urban Sketchers that happened at some point on either Saturday or Sunday. And I really enjoyed going to these two things because I got to meet other people. And because the weekends were the time when we would do this, the urban sketching, I sort of appreciated what weekends were like for most people, because it allowed them to sleep in late and do something fun. Oh, whatever. I don't even know where I'm going with that. Anyway, so let's turn this paper. No, we've already done that. We have to get a new piece of paper. So I'm just rambling, as you can tell, which is not unlike what I always do. But today is a Friday, TGIF, which I recently was more attuned to. And I thank goodness it is Friday, because I get to see my friends. That's why. And we're not doing it anymore because of this virus thing, so we have to do things on our own. And I'm playing with this pen. I'm scribbling back and forth, and I know that one viewer thought my scribbles caused her to lose the will to live. Could have been a him. I don't know what the gender was. I think I knew at one point, and I can't remember now. When I see Mr. Gustafson's scribbles, I lose the will to live. Huh. I wonder what happens when something important that happens that's bad. I would think that that person would be covered in razor blade marks from trying to commit suicide every time he or she opens the newspaper. If this brings on thoughts of death. Anyway, I've been playing with this pen. It's one that is on my desk, and it's way more modern than I normally like. And I just love it because it makes just this really nice thin line, which I'm dipping this in water. I'm not filling this up because I'm running out of black ink. So the pen does have residual ink, and my water is dirty, so it works perfectly fine for our doodles at this point. So now that it is Friday, TGIF, I'm going to do some work in the gallery today to try to finish a section of my construction I'm working on. And I've been on my rounds this morning picking up boxes that I use to make tractors and faces and these little landscapes. And I found a pizza box which didn't have any pizza sauce on it. I think the pizza was wrapped in plastic or something, so it doesn't have any mozzarella or chunks of onion stuck to it. And I've got an idea of a mask that I'll make with that. When I was a child, nearly 50 years ago, 60 years ago, I guess it was when I was in junior high and high school, some of us, not yours truly, would refer to people that had lots of pimples as being pizza face. So I thought I would make, using that pizza box, I would make a face that was the pizza face guy. I know, it was rude, but we didn't have Melania Trump's campaign of not being a bully back then, which is what we really, really needed, because she's so good at it, based, as you can tell by how polite and respectful her present husband is. Divorce papers are in the present husband's future. I don't care what the prenup says, you get everything. because you deserve everything and more, having to deal with that person every fucking goddamn day. So, pizza face. I had a thought that I was going to impart to you folks today, but I'm not imparting it. It's not time. Maybe it'll be time in a minute and a half if I keep on doodling here. Yeah, I'll impart it right now. Why not? Many of us are stuck home, and that's a nice place to be sometimes. Yes, you can organize your sock drawer. Yes, you can take out the garbage. Yes, you can polish the silver. Yes, you can fret and worry about where you're going to get money to pay your electric bill and all of that kind of stuff. Yes, you can do all of that. But you can also do other things. And I'm mainly going to speak to those of you that live in big apartment buildings. Let's say here's your apartment building, and this is your apartment right there. Right there, that's your square. And maybe you know the name of that person, and maybe this person. And maybe you absolutely hate this person. You don't even know their name, but you just hate them. The car they drive, the dog they walk, the scowl on their face, whatever it is. Color of their skin, who knows why you hate, but there's probably a reason. I live in a building. This is me. This is you. Well, not you. This is someone. Not you, not you, not you, but you over there. You live in this building. I live in this building. This is me. And because this building was built, collectively renovated by a group of 100 artists over the course of 3 years, 2 years of which we weren't even living in the building. We were making decisions every week. We'd get together. And I knew long before I moved in that I hated that person that lives in this apartment. I didn't hate them, but I just didn't agree with them on what they wanted. I understood what they wanted, but I didn't think that was a good idea. It either was too expensive or unnecessary or both, or they were too frugal. They wanted to buy the cheapest. We bought almost the cheapest of everything that we possibly could come by, but sometimes there was, someone that might have wanted something even cheaper if that was possible. So I may not have liked some people's opinions, but we all had the same goal of building this building. And 30 years ago, before we moved in, we knew everyone's name. And subsequent to that, we have forgotten people's names, and some people have died, and some people have moved away, and some people have had 10 kids, and things have changed since 30 years ago. Someone that I liked way back here, I hate now, or that's not true, but things change. But I do know the names of almost everyone in my building. There's some new people that moved in, and I haven't quite figured their names out yet. And there might be some people that moved in 30 years ago that I can't remember their names because I don't see them enough, or they, that sometimes happens. Our paths don't cross very much. And our building is made of essentially 2 large buildings, and the people in one building that has the front door and the laundry room and the mail room and the garage, the indoor garage, they don't really have any reason to come to the second building, which you have to walk, all of 30 seconds to get to, but if they're not going to see someone, there's no reason to go there. So people, they don't mingle with that building as much as they should. So I imagine that they might not know some of our names, but we know their names. Anyway, there was a time at which we started, you have to work hard to keep a community going. And we have a gallery, and we have 3 or 4 events a year 4 or 5 events a year that bring us together. Annual cleanup day, open studios twice a year. We have a party every year. New bricks on the block. Our building is called Brick Bottom. New bricks on the block party. So we have a party especially for the new people that moved in, and we get to meet them in mass if they want to come. And we really work hard at making a community work. And at one point, there was a suggestion that we have a Facebook group that everyone, all of the residents and owners, renters, residents and owners would join, and we would be able to discuss things of mutual interest. And I had the feeling that it was going to be people griping, someone's parking in my parking spot, damn them, and people just bitching and moaning, and maybe that's what I thought this was just going to be awful, and I sort of thought it wasn't a good idea. And it's a great idea. We have such, I never paid any attention to Facebook until I joined this group, because I would learn about what was important to my neighbors that I didn't normally think of asking about. I don't have kids, and I don't have a dog, and some people post pictures of their kids and their dogs, and I get to learn about children and dogs by watching them, and I get to learn about a concern that they have. Maybe it's maybe they have a health issue and they need help doing something, and I'm able to help them. But mainly it's about fun. Our group, this is what I'm getting to you in this building about. This is about fun and getting to know people. When Boston had so many blizzards one winter, it seems every weekend there was a blizzard, and one of my neighbors, right over here, I'll just say, they would say, come on down for, since we were all trapped in the building, we couldn't go anywhere, pajama pancake party, pajama pancake brunch, and people would arrive, just anyone. The building is 150 units. There's, there might have been a dozen people that showed up in their pajamas that were underneath their winter coats and their boots. But underneath all that, you could see the little silk negligee or their flannels or whatever. And we had a great time having pancakes. Those same people now have moved to this apartment, and they would every once in a while say, bring a project over and let's just chat and knit or play the ukulele or draw or whatever. And 10 people would show up at that place, and we'd talk and have fun and sing songs or whatever we were doing. And you here that know that you have 300 300 units in your apartment building with 600 people, and you know 3 of them. How can you get to know the other people? Now, there's some people in my building that I don't, that don't want to do this. They work 9 to 5, or they used to work 9 to 5, and they come home and they work with a bunch of people, and the last thing they want to deal with is a bunch of people here. So I can understand that. But now we're all trapped at home, so you could start to get to know your neighbors by putting up a group Facebook page and things like that, and get to know what your interests might be that you share. You know, this grumpy person that you hate that has maybe he just has irritable bowel syndrome or something, and he's always frowning because it hurts. Maybe he's really a nice guy. You know, it's worth a try, I would think. For me, every once in a while I forget to buy coffee, and I'll post at 5 in the morning or 4:30 in the morning when I get up. I post, does anyone have coffee? And I, kind of assume that maybe I'll get it at 7 o'clock when people wake up and read it. And within minutes, drop on by. I'll put some on my door. Or I've got a cup here. Why don't you come over and chat? So I do that. And I personally have not done this, but some people do. When they need a ride to the airport, they type in, I need a ride to the airport. Can I get one? And lo and behold, they get one. So this could happen in your place too. Is anyone going to the grocery store? I forgot some milk. Or does anyone have milk? I could, then you get milk or an egg or whatever you might need. So I just think that now is a time when we don't have our potluck to go to. I guess that's on a different page. We don't have our Wednesday potluck, and we don't have our Saturday and Sunday thing, and you don't have the people in the office cooler to gossip about. You don't have the sports game to watch or whatever you do that's social. Now you're home with your loving family, and that's enough to kill you. No, you're home, either with or without a loving family and a pet, and we are social animals. So rather than watching me, I mean, it's fine that you're watching me, but there are people that live in your building that you can get to know, because you're going to see them more often than you're going to see me, and you'll learn something about them. So figure out a way to do this. And if people aren't on Facebook, there's a way to do it somehow else, old-fashioned way. Let's get together in the courtyard and stay the correct distance apart and talk. And don't talk about the goddamn disease. Talk about something fun. Your favorite kind of pajamas or whatever you like. Learn about your neighbors. On that note, there seemed to me I was going to tell you something else. Have I lost the will to live yet? With this, have you lost the will? Oh, you're always... this video has been upside down. I've noticed now that I'm looking at the clock. Drives me crazy. Okay. The internal gyroscope doesn't seem to understand that this is a horizontal image. Good luck. Goodbye. See ya.